What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Gray's Area. Today we are ranking the top 10 DreamWorks villains by raw, unadulterated strength. We need to know who could put whom in a body bag, and in what order. I have thought about this for an embarrassingly long time. My search history is cooked, but the people deserve answers, so let's get into it. Starting us off at number 10 is the man, the myth, the vertically challenged tyrant himself, Lord Farquaad. Now look, I respect short kings, but Farquaad, physically, he's getting folded like a lawn chair. He's arrogant, he has zero combat feats, and to top it off, he's roughly the height of a standard fire hydrant. The man rules an entire kingdom, has a whole army at his disposal, but personally, he won't last 2 seconds against Shrek. But here's the thing about Farquaad. His entire power structure is built on other people doing the work for him. He sends knights to rescue Princess Fiona. He orders guards to torture the gingerbread man. He delegates everything. In fact, I'm surprised his army didn't turn against him. The second you strip away his entourage, you've got a short king in a very big bed with absolutely zero powers. His only real feat of strength is existing in the same universe as Shrek and not immediately getting sat on. And in the end, he got eaten by a dragon. His tombstone should read, "He was a short king who lived a short life." Number 9, Ramses. Coming in at number 9 is Pharaoh Ramses, ruler of Egypt, brother of Moses, and a man who looked at 10 increasingly horrifying plagues and said, you know what? Nah. Ramses himself isn't exactly a physical powerhouse. He's similar to Farquaad in that sense. He's taller, but you get the idea. His strength is entirely institutional. He commands the most powerful empire on Earth, has an army of thousands, and the sheer force of his political will literally redirected the lives of millions of people. He has that deep Moses voice that makes you feel like you disappointed him personally. But physically, he's just a well-trained human king. No superpowers, no mystical martial arts, no turning into glowing energy beings. He's a skilled warrior in a grounded, realistic world. Put him in a room with the top 5 on this list and he's getting spiritually and physically deleted. His stubbornness is arguably his greatest strength and his most catastrophic weakness. He gets points for sheer scale of operation. He loses points for the fact that he lost to a guy with a stick in a burning bush. Still top 10 material, just not top 8. Number 8, Grimmel the Grizzly from How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World. Grimmel the Grizzly is basically the Batman of dragon hunters. No powers, just brains, traps, toxins, and extreme commitment to hating night furies. So much so that he hunted them to near extinction. The rarest, fastest, most powerful dragons in the known DreamWorks universe, and this guy wiped them out like it was any other Tuesday. Grimmel is terrifyingly competent. He's methodical, he's brilliant, and he uses neurotoxins like most people use condiments. He doesn't have supernatural strength, but his tactical genius and complete lack of empathy make him genuinely one of the most dangerous humans in this entire ranking. The reason he's not higher? He still operates within human limits. He's the best human on this list, but once we get into the next few entries, best human starts feeling like a participation trophy. Number 7, General Mandible from Ants. At number 7, General Mandible, the ant who looked at his entire colony and thought, you know what, most of these guys should probably just die. Mandible is operating on a completely different level of villain than Farquaad. Farquaad wants a perfect kingdom. Mandible wants to eugenically select an ant master race and drown everyone else in a flood he engineered on purpose. That is unhinged. That is deeply unhinged. And the fact that he nearly pulled it off places him firmly in this position on this list. For an ant, his physical strength is proportionally enormous, and in the context of his world, he's basically a warlord. He loses points because Woody Allen ultimately defeated him, and that should embarrass everyone involved. Number 6, Titan from Megamind. Here we go! We are entering superpower territory, ladies and gentlemen. Titan, born Hal Stewart, a man who received the full power of a superhero and immediately used it to throw a bus at his crush, comes in at number 6. And honestly, he might be the scariest entry on this list in terms of raw destructive capability. The man has flight, super strength, laser vision, and near invulnerability. He demolished Metro City essentially on a tantrum. He wasn't even trying to conquer the world. He was just mad. Imagine having that much power and the emotional regulation of a wet sock. Terrifying. He's number 6 and not higher purely because he got outsmarted by Megamind, a blue alien whose primary weapon is theatrical flair. When your defeat involves a cape and a bait and switch, you're not cracking the top 5. Number 5, Lord Shin from Kung Fu Panda 2. Taking the 5th spot spot on the list is Lord Shen, and I will not be taking questions. This peacock is genuinely one of the most technically skilled fighters in all of animated cinema. He wields bladed feathers like they're scalpels. His speed is absurd. His tactical mind invented gunpowder cannons and nearly used them to conquer all of China. He looked at Kung Fu, an ancient, sacred, deeply powerful art, and said, "That's cute, I have artillery." Physically, he's skilled but not overwhelmingly strong. He relies on weapons and tactics. Still, he defeated multiple masters and pushed Po to his limit. Shen is the intersection of genius and precision violence, and that is a dangerous place to stand. The only reason he's not top 4 is because he got hit by his own cannon, which is a very funny way to go and cost him several spots on this list. Number 4, Drago Bloodvist from How to Train Your Dragon 2. Drago Bloodvist is a human man who subdued not one alpha dragon, but 2. Let's just appreciate what that means. Drago doesn't have magic, he doesn't have superpowers. He has sheer force of will so overwhelming that he bent the most powerful creature in the dragon world to his command, and then used that dragon to mind control every other dragon, Toothless included. His physical presence alone is terrifying, built like a fortress, and he isn't afraid to throw hands. He fights with a prosthetic arm staff combo, takes hits that would retire most people, and just keeps walking. Drago is what happens when someone refuses to acknowledge limits as a concept. Genuinely threatening, genuinely powerful, and one of the most imposing physical specimens this franchise has ever produced. Number 3, Tai Lung from Kung Fu Panda 1. Okay, we are in elite territory now. Tai Lung is, pound for pound, one of the most gifted martial artists to ever appear in animated film. This snow leopard trained his entire life, mastered every kung fu style Shifu could throw at him, broke out of an inescapable prison using a single feather, then fought his way through an entire army before breakfast. He is a one-man apocalypse. What makes Tai Lung uniquely terrifying is that he is almost justified. He was betrayed, he trained harder than anyone, and he nearly took the whole Valley of Peace apart with his bare hands.
You were not meant to be the dragon warrior. That was not my fault.
Not your fault? Who filled my head with dreams? Who drove me to train until my bones cracked? Who denied me my destiny?
He lost to Po, a panda who had no combat training at the time. And that's putting it lightly. I mean, the guy literally fell from the sky. That betrayal is the kind of loss that haunts a soul. But that speaks more to the power of the Dragon Scroll's placebo effect than any weakness of Tai Lung's. He's a monster. He's our number 3, and he never got the sequel he deserved. Number 2, Kai from Kung Fu Panda 3. Coming up at number 2, it's Kai the Collector. And if you slept on this man, I need you to wake up. Kai is operating on a fundamentally different plane than anyone else we've discussed today, because Kai doesn't just beat his enemies, he absorbs their chi. He defeated every kung fu master in China. He beat Oogway, Master Oogway, in the spirit realm, which is essentially the final boss arena of this entire universe. He turned warriors into jade zombies. He crossed back from death through sheer malice and ambition, grew to kaiju size, and nearly couldn't be stopped by conventional means at all.
You want my chi so bad? Then take it!
Yes. Wait. No. It's too much. That's too much. No.
The only reason Kai is number 2 and not number 1 is because our number 1 doesn't just take your chi, our number 1 takes everything. Now, before we reveal our number 1 villain on this list, please make sure to like this video if you haven't done so, subscribe so you won't miss our latest updates, and drop a comment. Tell us how you'd have ranked these villains, or if there's a particular villain you have in mind that should be here. I look forward to seeing your takes, but for now, let's get back to the video. Number 1, Death from Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Death, of course. Did you really think anyone else was going to take this spot? Death, the wolf from Puss in Boots, is not just the strongest DreamWorks villain on this list. He might be the strongest villain in the history of animated film. And I say that with full awareness of how crazy that sentence sounds. This is the literal embodiment of death, with a capital D. He doesn't want money, a kingdom, or revenge. He doesn't want to conquer the world. He just enjoys the hunt. He tracked Puss in Boots, a legendary warrior who had burned through 8 lives across the entire film and never broke a sweat. He shrugged off everything thrown at him. He even whistled while doing it, which might be the most chilling villain detail in modern cinema. While watching this movie, I initially thought death, appearing in physical form, was just an illusion, a wolf that Puss's mind created to cope with the realization that he was no longer immortal, as he had always believed. He was down to his last life, and maybe that fear was enough to make him imagine death chasing him. But when his friends can see the wolf too, that's when it hit me. Oh my god, he's real! What makes death truly number one isn't just his power, it's the inevitability. Every other villain on this list can be fought, outwitted, or outrun. Who could fight death and win? You cannot outwit or outrun death. All you can do is choose to live better, which is somehow the emotional resolution of this movie. And that's the list. Top 10 DreamWorks villains ranked by strength. Do you agree? Do you violently disagree? Is there a villain I left off this list? Drop it in the comments below. I read every single one, even the unhinged ones, especially the unhinged ones. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe to Gray's Area, and share this with someone who needs to settle an argument today. I'll see you in the next one.